Welcome to our journey through history, exploring the rise of nationalism in Europe. This chapter will unravel how the idea of a nation-state emerged and transformed the political landscape of Europe in the 19th century, shaping the world we know today. For students of 10th grade CBSE Social Science, our story begins in 1848 with French artist Frederic Sorrieu's visionary prints, the dream of worldwide democratic and social republics, the pact between nations. Sorrieu imagined a utopian world where people of Europe and America, from all classes, marched towards the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing enlightenment and human rights, leaving behind the shattered symbols of absolutist institutions. French philosopher Ernst Renan further defined a nation as a large-scale solidarity, forged through a shared heroic past and common glories. The French Revolution in 1789 marked the first clear expression of nationalism, shifting sovereignty from the absolute monarchy to the French citizens. Revolutionaries introduced powerful ideas like mille la patrie, the fatherland, and citoyen the citizen, to foster a collective identity, ensuring equal rights for all. They adopted a new tricolour flag, renamed the Estates General as the National Assembly, and established uniform laws and a centralized administration. The French nation's mission was to liberate other European peoples from despotism. News of these revolutionary events led to the formation of Jacobin clubs across Europe, preparing the way for French armies to spread nationalism into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and Italy in the 1790s. Napoleon Bonaparte, despite destroying democracy in France, introduced the Civil Code of 1804, also known as the Napoleonic Code, which abolished birth privileges, established legal equality, and secured property rights, making the administrative system more efficient. While Napoleon's reforms brought administrative benefits, the initial enthusiasm for French rule soon turned to hostility. Increased taxation, censorship, and forced conscription into French armies outweighed the advantages. This growing resentment is vividly captured in the caricature. The courier of Rhineland loses all that he has on his way home from Leipzig, depicting Napoleon as a postman losing territories after his decisive defeat at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. Before the rise of nation-states, mid-18th century Europe was a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, and cantons under autocratic monarchies, with vastly diverse populations. The powerful Habsburg Empire, for instance, encompassed German, Italian, Magyar, and Polish-speaking aristocracies, alongside numerous subject peasant peoples. Society was largely divided between a numerically small landed aristocracy, united by a common lifestyle, and the vast majority of peasants, who were either tenants or serfs. The 19th century brought industrialization, first in England, then in France and German states, leading to the emergence of new social groups, the working class and the middle classes, comprising industrialists, businessmen, and professionals. These educated liberal middle classes championed ideas of national unity and the abolition of aristocratic privileges. Liberalism, derived from the Latin liber, meaning free, advocated for individual freedom, equality before the law, government by consent, and the inviolability of private property. Economically, liberalism demanded freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions on goods and capital. In German-speaking regions, merchants faced numerous customs barriers and varying weights and measures, like the L for cloth, hindering trade. This led to the formation of the Zollverein Customs Union in 1834, initiated by Prussia. The Zollverein abolished tariff barriers and reduced currencies from over 30 to just 2. Significantly strengthening economic nationalism and fostering greater mobility through railways. Following Napoleon's defeat in 1815, European governments embraced conservatism, aiming to preserve traditional institutions like monarchy, church, and social hierarchies. The Congress of Vienna in 1815, hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich, brought together Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria to undo Napoleonic changes. The Treaty of Vienna restored the Bourbon dynasty in France, created buffer states, and aimed to establish a new conservative order, suppressing criticism and dissent through censorship, as satirized in The Club of Thinkers caricature. The fear of repression after 1815 drove liberal nationalists underground, leading to the emergence of secret societies across Europe. These revolutionaries, who opposed monarchical forms, fought for liberty and freedom, viewing nation-states as essential for their struggle. A key figure was Giuseppe Mazzini, an Italian revolutionary born in Genoa in 1805. Exiled for his revolutionary attempts, Mazzini founded Young Italy, and Young Europe, believing nations were natural units intended by God, and advocating for a unified Italian republic. Metternich famously described Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of our social order. The period from 1830 to 1848 was an age of revolutions, where liberalism and nationalism fueled uprisings across Europe. The July Revolution in France in 1830 overthrew the Bourbon kings, installing Louis Philippe, and inspiring Belgium's independence from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. The Greek War of Independence, which began in 1821, mobilized nationalist feelings, gaining support from exiled Greeks and West Europeans like Lord Byron. The Treaty of Constantinople in 1832 finally recognized Greece as an independent nation. Nationalism also flourished through culture, art, poetry, stories, and music. Romanticism, a powerful cultural movement, emphasized emotions, intuition, and mystical feelings over reason, aiming to create a shared collective heritage. German philosopher Johann Gottfried Herder argued that true German culture, or Das Wobnach, was found in common people through folk songs, poetry, and dances, known as Volksgeist. The Grimm brothers Jacob and Wilhelm collected German folk tales, believing they expressed an authentic German spirit, contributing significantly to German national identity. Karol Kurpinski used operas and folk dances like the Polonaise and Mazurka to maintain Polish national feelings. The 1830s brought severe economic hardship to Europe, marked by population growth, unemployment, and competition from cheap English machine-made goods. Food shortages and bad harvests led to widespread pauperism and popular revolts. A notable example is the 1845 Silesian weavers' revolt against contractors who drastically reduced their payments. In 1848, Paris also experienced food shortages and unemployment, leading to barricades and the flight of Louis Philippe, culminating in the proclamation of a republic and universal male suffrage for men over 21. In 1848, parallel to peasant revolts, liberal middle classes across German regions convened the Frankfurt Parliament in the Church of St. Paul to draft a constitution for a unified German nation. However, King Frederic Wilhelm IV of Prussia rejected the crown, and the parliament, dominated by middle classes, lost popular support and was disbanded. The issue of women's political rights was highly controversial. Despite their active participation, women like Louise Otto Peters were denied suffrage and relegated to observers in the visitors' gallery, highlighting the limitations of liberal nationalism. After 1848, nationalism shifted from democracy to state power. Prussia, under its chief minister Otto von Bismarck, became the architect of German unification. Bismarck, using the powerful Prussian army and bureaucracy, led 3 wars over 7 years against Austria, Denmark, and France. These victories culminated in the proclamation of Prussian King William I as the German Emperor in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles on January 18, 1871, establishing the new German Empire and modernizing its systems. Italy, like Germany, was politically fragmented into several states, with only Sardinia-Piedmont ruled by an Italian princely house. Giuseppe Mazzini's early efforts for a unitary republic failed, shifting the mantle to Sardinia-Piedmont under King Victor Emmanuel II. Chief Minister Cavour, a non-revolutionary Democrat, forged a diplomatic alliance with France to defeat Austrian forces in 1859. Later, Giuseppe Garibaldi, leading his expedition of the 1,000 Red Shirts, gained peasant support to drive out Spanish rulers in the south. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed King of United Italy, completing the unification process. The formation of the British nation-state was a long, gradual process, not a sudden revolution. Before the 18th century, the British Isles comprised distinct ethnic identities like English, Welsh, Scot, and Irish. The English Parliament, which seized power in 1688, gradually forged the United Kingdom of Great Britain through the Act of Union in 1707 with Scotland, and the forcible incorporation of Ireland in 1801 after suppressing revolts like Wolfe Tones. This process involved the suppression of Scottish and Irish cultures, promoting a dominant English identity with symbols like the Union Jack and God Save Our Noble King. Artists in the 18th and 19th centuries personified nations as female figures, known as allegories, to give abstract ideas a concrete form. In France, Marianne, embodying liberty and the Republic, was depicted with a red cap, tricolor, and cockade, appearing on coins and stamps. Similarly, Germania became the allegory of the German nation, often wearing a crown of oak leaves, symbolizing heroism. These allegories, along with symbols like broken chains for freedom, or a sword with an olive branch for peace, helped convey national ideals and sentiments. By the late 19th century, nationalism evolved into a narrow, intolerant creed, leading to conflicts and being manipulated by major European powers for imperialist aims. The Balkans, a region of diverse ethnic groups largely under the Ottoman Empire, became a serious source of nationalist tension after 1871. As the Ottoman Empire disintegrated, Balkan states broke away, leading to intense rivalries and a series of wars. This aggressive nationalism, intertwined with imperialism, ultimately contributed to the outbreak of the First World War in 1914. However, this era also saw anti-imperial movements globally, striving for independent nation-states against colonial domination. In summary, the rise of nationalism in Europe reveals how the French Revolution ignited the idea of the nation-state, evolving through Napoleon's reforms, liberal movements, and conservative reactions. Key figures like Giuseppe Mazzini, Otto von Bismarck, and Giuseppe Garibaldi played pivotal roles in the unification of Italy and Germany. Romanticism and economic factors like the *Zollverein also shaped national identity. Ultimately, nationalism transformed from a liberal ideal into an aggressive force, leading to imperialism and the First World War, yet inspiring anti-imperial movements worldwide, shaping the modern world.
This video was generated using evilly.com. It's the all-in-one AI platform where you can instantly turn any PDF into a video, generate interactive quizzes, MCQs, true or false, etc. from your content. Share quiz links instantly. No sign-up needed for your students or friends to take them. Check out evilly.com now and start transforming your documents into engaging videos and quizzes. I have added some sample quizzes in the description for you to practice.